Good evening, folks. Richard Victory here. Just wanted to share a game with you. I played a couple nights back. This is one of those times when you're into a Rockstar team who just does absolutely everything right. Unfortunately, for most of this game, I'm playing about like a roadie. And please understand, I've worked with roadies and professional stage folks, so sometimes you do an awful lot of work and it just doesn't seem to show up in the spotlights. So it's a great game. I hope you guys really enjoy it. I'll give you a walk through what I'm thinking, and then we'll talk about how everybody else played. So this team was looking really good right to start with. I always try and start the match by, good luck, fair seas, and immediately asking what's the plan. And I can almost tell in the first minute how a match is going to go by the level of communication that starts out. And so what we're seeing right here, right away, everyone's talking about what their ship capabilities are, where we're going to go, how we're going to do it. It really had a good feeling to get started. So right away, I'm going to press into C. As a Hatsuharu destroyer, capping is what I do, and of course I don't want those other ships coming in here. I'm just presuming there's at least one enemy destroyer. I don't know where he is. My default behavior is he's in the cap circle with me, so I hold off on my second torpedo shot. But what I want to do is force those vessels to stay on the outside edge of the cap circle so that I can complete the cap. It also lets me spot up those targets for the ships coming in behind me, who immediately start putting gunfire down on top targets. So when you're, sort of as a destroyer captain, when you're up in the nose here like this, knowing that you've got fire coming in over your shoulder, engaging the targets you're lighting up, really makes you feel good. And almost immediately you'll notice that Jaesian calls out that he's doing a torpedo shot, so that's good news. Chief Jace shouts out that if the CV needs extra AAA backup, that he can cover out. He's got a fitting for AAA. And way down south, Ironclad Primus starts shouting out that he needs support. We said BC, and he's headed south to attack A by himself, and possibly seems to have bitten off more than he can chew. Before you judge him too harshly, just watch what happens down south. So yeah, at this point what I'm doing is firing area denial torpedoes, and this is where the Mogami, the bloody Mogami, fired a spread of torpedoes. Totally forgot about him. He's got Japanese long lances, 12 kilometer at least, and I sail right into one. Okay, well at that point I'm out of the circle. We've capped. I got to get out of here. And now, of course, they know the Mogami knows he hit something with a torpedo he can't see. That means there's a destroyer somewhere. If the smoke screen wasn't the hint, yeah. So I'm in trouble. But on the other hand, got to keep these guys out of the cap circle. So wheel back in. One of our ships has fired a spread of torpedoes. Plenty of room. There was never any danger to me in that shot. So we've got torpedoes heading in on that New Mexico. He should never get hit by those. You gotta see them coming a mile away. There's a destroyer over here. Somebody hiding behind an island, blasting away. That's not good news. C is going to turn into a slaughterhouse. B looks like teams basically. They went AC, we went BC. So we're going to cap C. We're going to cap Bravo for free, and C is going to turn into a slugfest. So I'm going to call out the fact that New Mexico is in the cap. He needs to die. Everybody else, they're annoying, but they're not actually in the cap circle, so they're not costing us points. So immediately trying to dissuade the New Mexico. He knows he's got to know there's somebody in here with him because he's not capping. So those torpedoes shouldn't have been a surprise to him. And yet, 2 torpedo hits. So I don't know if perhaps he just wasn't thinking through the process, or if he had his head down in his gun sight lining up one of the friendlies. Looks to me from the mini-map like we've got a battleship who's just about run aground, so he may have been trying to take a shot of opportunity there. So the New Mexico has been forcefully informed he's sharing the cap circle with a destroyer. There's an Atlanta coming in, and I really don't want him anywhere near me if I can avoid it, so I fire spreaded torpedoes at him. Ironclad Primus, down south, scores first kill, and mentions the fact casually that he's a World of Warcraft player. I see our Fuso here. Our friendly Fuso is in deep trouble. He's taking fire from 4 different vessels. So what I'm trying to do is steam over and drop a defensive smokescreen. And then the Atlanta deploys hydroacoustic search. It's either hydroacoustic or it's radar. I think that's radar now that I'm looking at the symbol. So now they know I'm here and the Fuso's down. I'm literally the only thing they have to shoot at. So fire torpedoes, drop smoke, start maneuvering hard, and I just take a pasting here. So I'm down to 1,100 health, 1,000 health. What I'm doing is every time he fires I do a hard course change. So essentially I change my course by 45 degrees every time a volley lands behind me, trying to throw aim off as much as I can. So you can see how I'm swinging the arc of the ship. So they're firing for where I would have been based on the last course change. Carrier at this point comes in, saves the day. Point blank airdrop on that New Mexico and just messes him up. And then I've still got 3 fish heading for the New Mexico. They won't get there though. At this point the New Mexico's had to do radical course change to respond to the air attack. But what it does do is gives our Aoba a chance to come around the corner and start flanking, and here come the dive bombers. And our carrier driver puts a beating on these guys in the cap circle. Capping is not cheap up here with our carrier driver. And then things start not going well. So our Aoba takes a pair of Citadels back-to-back from the Atlanta and just gets wrecked. He gets sent straight to the bottom in short order. I've now got enemy torpedo bombers in the area. And the New Mexico is turning around. Oh yeah, and then there are fighters just over there. So I fire a spread of torpedoes at the New Mexico, and just to convince him to not turn around. And the next thing that has to happen is I need to be forgotten. I need to just kind of disappear for a moment, let everyone get out of that cap circle, and then I can take another run at it. So I'm going to do a loop around this island, keep an eye over my shoulder at what's going on back there. Yeah, torpedoes are running okay, but I don't think they're going to hit the New Mexico. His, ooh. Torpedoes near me. Okay, that's not good. What's going on? Airstrike on the on our New Mexico. Fish in the water. And our New Mexico's firing at that one, who's got to do a hard course change to avoid the torpedoes, but he saw them in time. So, all right. So very, very quiet. I'm hunting battleships. So, torpedoes are back up. The scores are kind of close, but they're not great. There's a New Mex in the cap. I have a paltry 775 health. I gotta get these guys out of the cap circle so I can get some work done here. If I can sink that New Mexico, that would be a real good step in the right direction. He's also way too close to me. I get detected at 6.5 kilometers. And yeah, he's down to 7, so spread of torpedoes, second spread of torpedoes. I've been detected by something. What? Yeah, he's well inside. Okay, start shooting. Okay, put some damage into him. He's distracted by a whole bunch of other things, including the airstrike coming at him, so... Unfortunately, means my torpedoes don't get there in time. That's too bad. Alright. So we'll come around, and okay, the enemy team is starting to pull ahead on ships here. The North Carolina's got a couple of torpedoes threatening him, but they're not going to hit him, I don't think. No, they miss. He's got a torpedo bomber strike. Our carrier captain is doing a great job of putting a beating on anything up in this cap circle. So I'll put some torpedoes out. I've got an enemy spotter aircraft looking at me. I'm capping. Yeah, what? Who's shooting at me? There's a cruiser behind that island. Okay. Alright, so going to run towards him to try and shorten up the range before he can compensate. I need to get close to him and get him sunk. Yeah, this isn't good. I'm spotted by aircraft. I've got a Colorado there and another cruiser. He just broadsided me. Okay, so I'm out of the game. 20,000 damage done and 2 torpedo hits, and we are now losing firmly. Not great. Alright. Obviously enough, those torpedoes aren't going to go anywhere near what I aim them at. He's got way too much time to look at them, and he's had too much time to maneuver, so I guess I'll just sink. Let's go see what's going on down here. Now, this is Ironclad Primus, the guy who at the beginning of the game was calling for help because he, you know, had half the enemy fleet to himself, has successfully capped, and is, well, doing this to everything he sees. That is an Atlanta. It's a premium ship, and take a look at the firepower on this thing. It just doesn't stop. Now that Bayern understands he's, you know, it's a cruiser, and I've heard complaints that the Atlanta has made it a citadel, so I mean, Ironclad takes it quite a hit there. But, wow, just watch the health bar on the Bayern. And take a look at the minimap. The Bayern has a problem he hasn't seen yet. He is now broadside to a friendly battleship. Yeah, you can see those artillery rounds going on, aimed towards the friendly that we've got. And there you go. You can see the Bayern's turning. He's realized he's in peril now from another battleship. The other battleship at point-blank range on a broadside is of far more concern to him than the Atlanta plinking away. I think it's Eisenhower that's coming around the corner, so you can see the torpedoes. The Bayern is trading shots with him. There's a Nagato in the background. A Nagato in the background. Yeah, it's an Eisenhower. It's Chief Jace. Remember him? Fellow with the AA rigged ship? Yep. So the enemy flat top has been trying in vain to sink him all game at this point in time. And there's Ironclad Primus picking up the Arsonist Award. And Chief Jace opens fire on the Nagato in the background. So Ironclad Primus calls for help because, you know, he's now going to attack three other enemy warships. And the North Carolina is now in a whole lot of trouble. He's getting dive bombered and hammered by the Atlanta. Enemy Colorado in the background, taking advantage of the weakness of the armor on the Atlanta, scores a citadel on Ironclad Primus. Ironclad Primus changes the trim of his ship, so he's got the island behind him. North Carolina is trying to sink our carrier and is ignoring the beating that the Atlanta here by Ironclad Primus is putting on him. Watch his health bar just plummet. There he is, gone. Hostile Cleveland realizes he's next. Ironclad just putting a heaping onto this guy. Torpedo strike coming in, and down goes Ironclad Primus. And Chief Jace in the background says, yeah, he scored 20 AA kills against the enemy carrier. There's the torpedo drop. Our carrier removes the Cleveland from play. Ironclad Primus says 120,000 damage. Chief Jace, 102,000 damage. And suddenly, we're winning. These two guys and the carrier driver completely changed this game. The enemy team now is in B, but the entire enemy team is now in B, including the enemy carrier. The Shokaku is trying to is basically looking for protection from the Colorado. He's just not going to get it. Our Shokaku, driven by Bryce 273, just wiping the sky clean with a fighter strike and local anti-aircraft guns. Take a look at the stats that Ironclad Primus is putting up for his fight. 15 fires, 452 shots hit, 199 penetrations. And the Colorado, for some reason, yeah, he's... Okay, I see what he's doing. He's firing at the battleship coming out of the, our battleship coming out of A. And you can see Alan 390 there doing his best, but he's at this point taking fire from three sides. That was only going to end one way. Bryce 273 picks up the Arsonist Award. And suddenly it's just the enemy carrier who puts it in reverse and starts backing up as fast as he can. And, well, he's almost at it. Yeah, Bryce 273, 142,000 damage done as a carrier. So, another spectacular game there. And yeah, this for Lil Tanlin in the Shokaku, this is only going to end one way. He's just catching it from all sides. Good of him to directly support his team and play forward like that, but the end is nigh. Hits from the Colorado, hits from the Gneisenau. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Game over. So, I mean, it's an average game for me. 20,000 damage done, 74,000 credits. It's okay. Not great, but it's okay. But yeah, the real story here is these guys. Take a look at these numbers. So in the number one position, you've got Ironclad Prime with three kills, over 3,000 base experience. Right behind him in the Gneisenau is Chief Jace at 2,300, over 2,300 base XP, 22 air kills. Bryce 273 in the Shokaku, 4 kills, 35 air kills, 2,000 base XP. And Jason in the Mogami with 2 kills and 1,500 base XP. These guys absolutely hefted this well and above. By comparison, if you take a look at the other team, they did okay. Their Mogami, 1,100, almost 1,200 base XP. Their Colorado, 1,100, almost 1,200 base XP, but just Little Chanlin in the Shokaku, almost 1,000 base XP, but just not enough compared to what, honestly, the Rockstars on my team were really managing to drive out. So, like I say, not a bad game for me. All my damage got done on the New Mexico. I got some spotting in on the Mogami, the Carolina, the Cleveland, the Atlanta. Yeah, but this match isn't about me. So I made a modest profit. That's okay. It was a modest performance. Thanks very much for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, if you see any of these guys, you'll see their names in the credits. If you see any of these guys out there, stay away from them. Take care. Bye-bye.